little step back at your college times. You, because of the health issue with the air and the chlorine, you had to stop swimming. You found a whole new great group with the soccer. And part of your financing for college was through the scholarship/grant to come as a swimming champion. So how did you finance your college then after that part had to stop?
Well, again, I have to very, very grateful to my family. Ivy was in Chicago, Tom, my brother-in-law. That niche, and but it's almost like most the Asian students, for those who came with family support, great. For those who are not, they're all going through a certain kind of employment to trying to gather some funding, some financial aids during the summer. And that had me started in the spring of '68. And then I went into Chicago, and almost the minute we got in, I went on my own to start looking for jobs. And basically I put myself through college for the 3 summer that making between about $1,800 to $2,000 to $2,100 literally paid for my schooling, the room and board in Platteville. In the meantime, in between these 4 years, because the trust I was earned from my Franking, the Golden Pheasant restaurant, put the trust in me. I from waiter to bartending to helping in the front, become like a front seating manager, and by paying attention to the order, the whole experience, I was not very well, I didn't like to discuss it. Perhaps a little bit of this Brazilian, Italian, I blame the Italian called vanity. I could never tell my friends that I came to college, end up to become a waiter. In the meantime, while we were in Brazil, waited by waiters and waitstaffs, and we have our garments in the club providing jackets for us, and the Paulistano, Pinheiros, and the Braico when you're dining formally, your tie, your jacket, your shirts being provided. This is a little bit as an interesting psychological adjustment to become the waiter, but I never forgot, in the kitchen, there's hierarchy. These are the people from different provinces of China called Toisan, and they speak their language. When you're trying to go in very gentle and polite, can I have this, can I have this? And you get the chef, the bowl, give you a nasty look with a cleaver chopping to the block and say, listen, you are the waiter. You're the dog out there begging for tips. We are the bullies. When you call out your order, call out loud and clear. This side is the Chinese cooking chef. That side is American. We have to hear every word so we can coordinate. But instead of being gentle and instructive, it was barking. So you learn to come into a different social hierarchy. You swallow your pride. You feel like punching this chef. But I never forgot. On the first day, when I earned my first $15 in tip, I've never looked back. I've decided, I make my math, if I can do this in 30 days, in about 65 days, I can earn about this much, and this can be part paying for my room and board, even though I don't want to pay tuition. I think the whole learning experience in these 4 years, while being a waiter, I have extra time, instead of going hanging around or chewing whatever crackers and nuts, I help the front desk. I have a special bond in this moment. I thank Frank, wherever you are. Frank Ng is American-born Chinese, and he told me his own sad history that he had never been able to could never play baseball, his most beloved sports. And one time his own father, coming from the same area, picked up his cleaver in the kitchen as a cook and chopped up his mint. I mean, if I'm sharing my story of struggling and earning my money as a waiter in a very low and humbling way, but I put myself through college. And this is one part of my life I have seldom talked about it, not even in Brazil or anywhere. But from this particular experience, when I graduated in '72, got a job offer in New York as a counselor, psychologist, but because I do not have a permanent resident status, I had to return to Chicago, and because my experience of 4 years knowing the food and restaurant business, and just by pure coincidence, I became the first Chinese Asian nightclub manager in Playboy in Chicago. And believe it or not, with the marvelous tipping system, in less than 60 days, I make up enough money to pay for my car after my graduation. And from the Playboy experience, unbeknown to me, other recruiting groups had spotted me because my Chinese, I used my Spanish language, and I was almost engaged immediately into a forensic, into the discovery of embezzlement, with the staff stealing, taking liquor, food in baskets, selling at that transitional time in the Playboy in 1963-64. And then eventually I was asked to become the assistant manager in Higgins of the Marriott Corporation, one of the most successful Polynesian restaurants called Konakai. I met up with one of the top management team, graduated from Cornell, offered my position to be in Cornell, and promotion into Philadelphia for the same work. Is a forensic catching people being dishonest from the wait staff, from the management, and the actually physical embezzlement of their abuse with the tickets, from a $50 ticket punishment that can generate $400 in liquor. I've never talked about this part of between Marriott and Playboy, but this actually had shaped my business sense more indirectly than ever.